Aloha kako and welcome to our happy mess happy hour. I don't know why I sound so sad when I say that. Maybe because there's no drinks again. Joe, we gotta get
Exactly.
drinks. Anyways, thank you for coming and we're gonna talk about our second episode, our mixed and messy episode. Jill, did you know I'm joined, by the way, by my dear friend and producer Jill?
Hey, everybody. We're back.
Jill, did you know what Hoppa was?
Funny you should ask. I mean, I've obviously heard the term a lot before, but I feel like it's a lot of things a lot of things in life. I've heard it, but I didn't necessarily have a clue that there was such a huge conversation about what it means. Like, I think maybe I thought it just meant one thing, and I thought maybe it meant like half Hawaiian, half white. But what's amazing to me is listening to you and our guests this week, I realized, oh my gosh, this is a whole cultural conversation. It's not just some simple answer.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're right. Like even in the comments, people were very emphatic about like this was the correct definition or that was the correct definition. And it is interesting that it is a conversation. Like one little four-letter word could be such a conversation. And because of that, we thought, you know what? Let's talk more about it. Let's talk more about the episode and the
Yeah.
deep dive and the things that like we didn't cover. So this week we have asked my amazing and darling sister, Jarmae, to come back on the episode and talk more with us. So let's get her in here.
Hello. So honored to come back and speak with Miss Tappy Mess.
Welcome back, Jarmae. So
Thank
glad
you
you're
so
here.
much. It was a great episode to do. It really was. I think it's such an important conversation. And I think it touched a lot of people. Like you were saying, there was a lot of conversation just from that one part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, I was so, I'm always like, hey, let's do this. And then people are like, oh, okay, let's do it. And I don't know. I feel like I bamboozle people into doing a bunch of different things. And in this particular case, I asked you, like, I'm doing a podcast. Will you come and be on my podcast? And you were so nice. Like, you're not somebody who's like, I'm trying to be on a podcast. I'm trying to be on a TV show. You're not an actor. Do you know what I mean? And
That's
you
true.
just
Yes.
totally jumped in with so much trust and love. And I
Yes.
totally adore you for it.
The
Um,
Uber to Los Feliz was fun.
You're like,
Just
where are we going?
I'm
What are
like,
we
what is
doing?
that?
Yeah, what did I sign up for?
oh my God. We sent her a call sheet, which is pretty common, like in the industry, but Jarmae's not in the industry. So she was like, what is this? Are you guys
Yeah.
coming to pick
Just
me
tell
up
me
or what?
where, sis. I was like, just tell me the address. Yeah. No, it's definitely, informative. And I have such respect for you two. I just can't imagine like actually doing it. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
very impressive. Very impressive.
Well, we were making it up as we went along, as you know. We still are.
Yeah.
totally.
It's more authentic that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, aside from my undeniable charm, clearly, what brought you onto the show? Like, what made you think, like, what gave you the bravery to say yes? Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean,
I think that it was really important to me just because I do live on the mainland like you. Like we're all from Hawaii and we all like have that hole in our heart, like missing the island. And it was always there and I coped. And now that I have children, I felt like it like upped the ante of having this really important dialogue with other people who live on the mainland who are probably missing home. And I just wanted so badly to go on the podcast and speak to maybe my classmates that moved to the mainland, maybe old friends from Hawaii that like now live in the mainland and they're feeling that lack of connection to the culture, to the people. And I just wanted them to hear like, oh yeah, someone else is going through that too. And maybe having that lost in translation, trying to explain what it's like to miss home and not get to go to Hawaii every year maybe and trying to maybe raise children or be with a partner that doesn't understand what it's like. Such a big thing to be from Hawaii and not be able to explain it, I guess. So I was really hoping just to connect with people on that like specific, I guess, subject.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is an experience that is definitely, I mean, it's obviously relatable to me because I'm in the same situation, but like I had just gone to a mixer a couple days ago after the episode had aired, and there was a lot of people who found kind of solace and they felt seen, and it's something that's being experienced a lot, I think. So it was, I appreciate you wanting to reach out and wanting to kind of have that perspective so other people could also feel like they weren't alone in it, because it is weird when you move away and you're the only one and you're
Yeah.
like, um
I think it speaks to a lot of just also America. I mean, speaking of the word Hapa and stuff, I think it can also relate to a lot of people who live in America who are not like full whatever ethnicity they are, insert here. So there is a
Hmm.
lot of like half Korean Americans or half, insert your ethnicity here that maybe feel that lack of like, am I enough? When we were talking about imposter syndromes and how
yeah,
you're kind of stuck between like, am I enough to talk about this? And I was hoping that someone would hear it and go, you know, I am enough because I miss home. I know who I am and I need to talk about it.
yeah, and we
It's so interesting. I'm sorry, can I just jump in
no,
for a
go ahead,
second?
Joe.
So we're all in different places, so we're like gonna step on each other by accident. But I just want to say it's such like as an outsider, I'm not Hawaiian, right? I'm African American. This has been such a beautiful and fascinating conversation for me because I'm from Pennsylvania, but I don't have this cultural connection in the same way to Pennsylvania, the way you guys do to
Right.
Hawaii. And Hawaii is not just a state. Can you guys talk a little bit about that, like culturally, what it means to feel like you're not at home, and even what you mean when you say mainland, which I know people know, but that's significant. It's not just something to gloss over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the 50th state, I don't know how many people realize that Hawaii, was the last state of the United States of America. I think whoever wins history gets to write it. And so a lot of people are lacking just the basic, I guess, knowledge of Hawaiian history. And we were a sovereign nation before we became a US state. And so it's such a very unique place to be from because we are part of America, but we were very much the last state and it shows in just everyday life there. Our culture, I think, is much stronger than the Western states' influence, but we absolutely heavily rely on being part of the United States. I know a lot of activists would disagree with me probably, but it is such a unique perspective that it's a state. Jill, you're right. Maybe not a lot of people know that part of it. It's just we're so attached to the culture and not the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because we are 100% a colonized state. I mean, Mamo in the episode kind of talks about it, and Mamo talks about being colonized and the overthrow and stuff. But, and I know, the United States in general has colonized, different tribes and First People. And so that's a repeated story. And Hawaii is just the most recent in America's history. And we were, like Jarmae was saying, 100% independent. We had embassies, we had currency, we had our own constitution. The kings and queen went out of their way to assimilate to a government so that we would not be taken over. And even when a British diplomat came and took Hawaii over, the British royalty and government regave Hawaii back because they recognized the Hawaiian kingdom as its own sovereign country. And that is completely embedded, I think, into our culture, not just because of the independence, but because of the colonization.
Yeah.
Hawaiians were incredibly literate and educated and very progressive. And that all plays into, I think, where we are now. I think our grandparents, our great grandparents, they went through incredible sadness. They went through abuse and being displaced in their own lands. And unfortunately, when people are colonized and said they are not enough, when they are in their own home, that can transform into trauma, generational trauma. And so there is a lot of anger. There's a lot of sadness, and it's been passed down on a cellular level throughout all of our generations. And so I think that is a unique part of Hawaii because we have incredible pride of being from Hawaii. And then there's also just this confusion, this sadness, this anger with incredible love and joy. And both can be real and true. And that's why Hawaii can be so fun and exciting and beautiful and lovely. And also, we have very visceral, fast acting emotions because of our history that's built into us.
Yeah, I definitely have encountered lots of people who have visited Hawaii. They're from California or they're from the East Coast, and they're Jarmae, I don't understand. What do you guys have against, white people? I didn't feel very welcomed in some certain areas of the island. And, what did I do wrong? And like, should we visit Hawaii? Like, that's always the vacation I want to go to. And it's just such a hard question to answer. And so I just slightly start with obviously our history and that colonized part because it does play into people like you're saying years later with kind of this begrudge to foreigners. It's
Yeah.
absolutely like there. A lot of people come and visit and absolutely are respectful, and I think they're met maybe just a little bit easier.
Also, you know what I think is a really big difference in with Hawaiian culture and with being from Hawaii is this idea of community. And I'm not saying that there's not a sense of community on the mainland because that's a huge overgeneralization. And I'm not saying that at all. And it's very prevalent. This idea of community, of family is very tight in Hawaii. And so you kind of go through life with this idea that you're not an individual person representing yourself. You are part of a family and a community that you're representing at all times. And so there's a level of respect, there's a level of kokua, like helpfulness and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
sometimes when you are not from Hawaii and you are kind of a person has sort of chosen an individualist path, it can be very at odds with the culture of Hawaii because it feels very much like an insult to have somebody just come as an individual and say, I am the end of the road. It seems like it's
Yeah.
blasphemous in a culture that celebrates community and uplifting your elders and the keiki behind you, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Trying to express it is really hard. You just explained it very well to me,
Mhm.
but I definitely understand that sense of community because usually when someone asks me a question about Hawaiian culture or Hawaii in general, and I don't know, I love going, you got to talk to my uncle, you got to talk to my cousins. Like, man, they know all about this way more than me in detail and like love to explain, love to talk about Hawaiian botany, how it used to be and not just me trying to represent out here going, oh yeah, this is how it is. Cause there's so much more to say.
Yeah. Yeah. There is. There's so much to say.
Yeah. I did appreciate Auntie Mamo's perspective just because she talked about the plantations at first and, what insight to the older generations and how they perceive it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that kind of blew me away too. Because
Yeah.
then, Kim, you were talking about it too. And I hadn't even thought about plantations in Hawaii, let alone all of these different beautiful relatives from different countries coming together there and like some of the stuff you were remembering.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even
I
have
mean,
a question. I just think it's interesting. You know what I mean?
well, and I think that plantation history is where we get some of our mixes from. Do you know what I mean? Like certainly the
Yeah.
Hawaiian, the Chinese, the Portuguese,
Yeah.
um, the Korean. I'm sorry, did I say Hawaiian? I was just listing my ethnicities, guys. Sorry. See, I was just saying Hawaiian Chinese.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the history of the plantation is incredibly interesting, and I used to love hearing the stories of my Auntie Margie, my grandfather's sister, would tell me stories about her mother and how she worked on the plantation. She was a Korean woman, and she was such an entrepreneur. She she was raising the kids by herself, and she on a different episode, she used to clean the bathhouse, but then she needed more money, and she realized that all the men on paycheck days were hungry and they had money. So she started making Korean delicacies and standing outside of the paycheck office. And the Korean men would come and they would start buying. But then the other men were like so bummed because they couldn't get their kind of delicacies that they missed. And so then she started learning how to make Japanese,
Oh my God, I love that.
Filipino, and Portuguese and Chinese stuff. And so she learned how to make all these different things. And she and the kids would stand outside on paycheck days and she would sell these kind of things that they missed back to the men so she could make extra money. She was awesome.
I
Yeah.
love this story. And it speaks so much to our culture to, again, talk about food.
Mhm. Yeah. It
How
reminds
special,
me,
how
Jarmae, of what
special.
you were saying too in the podcast about how food was one of the ways you stay connected with your culture, even in the mainland, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely true. It's funny because when you first start to connect or try to get a recipe, or for me, in my experience, I definitely could not, perfect it or find all the ingredients. And it's just one of those learning curves. Like the more you do it, you get better and better. And then when I finally moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, oh my goodness, it was just like opened up. Like there's poi here. You can get like frozen Lao Lao in Vegas, like from a CVS. It's like insane. You see like the frozen zippy chili and the Portuguese sausage, and it's just so shocking. You're like, what? You're like, what? Is this available?
You know what that reminds
And
me
you're
of?
happy all over
That's
again.
hilarious. That
I'm just
reminds me
listing
of
food.
no, but the listing food is always good. The sense memory comes from food. And I'm remembering when Mama Kim decided she was going to start a poi company. Am I wrong?
The poi packets, right?
No, I was going to make, it was called Mana Baby Food. And because Mana was a baby and she was here, and my older daughter Numia had poi as her first food. And even though Mana was here, I wanted her to have poi for her first food. I was not going to feed her that garbage cereal stuff. And so I went out of my way to try to figure out how I could get taro sent here so I could make poi for her.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty
then
awesome.
I was like, why don't I make this and sell it at the farmer's market? Because it's so good, and poi is hyperallergenic and it has all the minerals in it, and it is the most
The
perfect food
healthiest.
for
It is
babies.
the perfect first food.
Like, if you can, you should definitely be giving your baby poi as its first food. It is the most perfect food for a baby. And then, honestly, a perfect food in general. But yeah, I was like, I'm making baby food. And
I know. It was going to be like a whole
of
company.
course you are.
Yeah.
They stole your idea, sis, because my mom just came with the poi packets, like the squeeze pouch things.
That's what I'm going to do.
She just came with poi, and then they had Okinawan sweet potato
Oh my God.
mixed
Oh, yum.
with poi, mixed
Yes.
with probably, I forget, maybe spinach. And I was like, oh my God. And
That's crazy.
I
That's
fed it to
exactly the
Koa. It was
line.
perfect. It was perfect.
That was exactly the line that I was doing. I was gonna do. We even made like Okinawan sweet potato. We did a spinach one. We did I did a mango one as well.
Man.
It was brilliant. I think there were problems with shipping the poi from Hawaii to LA.
Yeah, there was.
It's always shipping,
There were,
guys.
yeah, there were logistics.
Always
It's always
is.
shipping. Oh my God, you're so right. It's
Oh my
always
God,
shipping.
it's true.
Wait, something else I just remembered that I loved. I don't know, was it 4th of July? When were we all here at Kim's house? And we were out by the pool, and then Jarmae brings out the ukulele, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But for me, I was just like, oh my gosh,
Aw.
how can I be a part of this culture? This is so beautiful. Because when you guys are together, music always comes out, and it's not like, it doesn't have to be about perfect performance or turning it on the radio or anything like that, or like, where's the DJ? Suddenly it's like the family circle talking story and you guys singing together.
That was
Yeah.
super fun. I remember that. That was 4th of July, and it was Conrad and Ashley.
Oh yeah, I love
Howie
that.
And Lindsay and Taylor
And
were here, and
Lindsay.
you were here, and we just Kanikapila, and like everybody was singing. It was super fun. That was super fun.
That's definitely that synergy of community when you talk about it, just because like nobody knows if they know the words, and then you play, and then they know the words, and they're like, oh no, I know the words, and they sing along.
Yes. And then
And it definitely
Ashlyn jumped
connects
up,
you.
and she was doing hula, and then she was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"You know this verse, it doesn't even matter." She just did it. It was really fun. And it is nice. The
Yeah.
community that we have here of friends who moved here from Hawaii is such a energization. Is that a word, you guys?
Yes.
It's
I'm gonna
so
say yes.
re-energizing. Yes.
Re-energizing.
Re-energizing.
Re-energizing and hopeful, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
also with our friends here, like Jill and Mary was here. I'm just naming all these people you guys don't know. My bad.
Who are these people talking about?
These real people. I have not
Exactly.
mixed them up. I promise.
We call them the mamas. Just all the
Yeah,
mamas were here.
the mamas are here. Yes, exactly.
I
Um,
definitely think too, like the Hapa conversation is just re-energizing the thoughts of like, who like the imposter syndrome all over again, Kim, because we definitely deserve to find each other here on the mainland. Doesn't
yeah,
matter how much Hawaiian, right? Just that we find each other and we can still have a connection to home.
yeah,
And I guess, for me, that brings up, I feel like as, a non-Hawaiian, I guess I'm kind of curious about the imposter syndrome and what that means to you and what that feels like, because I see you guys and you're Hawaiian, you're not 100% Hawaiian, but I don't actually care about percentages when I just think about culture and people and what they love and where they're from and what they know. And you guys are part Hawaiian and you're part all these other beautiful things that kind of came up. And I don't know. I guess I'm curious about how you feel the world sees you. Is this the Hawaiian world you talk about when you have imposter syndrome? Is it the mainland world? Where's that
Oh,
coming
it's
from?
it's definitely the Hawaiian world, and I think half of it is just for me personally, like growing up on the island, asking them like how much, like we are talking about blood quantum, but also just like mannerisms, and if you look enough, I think in my experience, and you know, no matter how much you try to look enough or speak enough or know enough, I guess it is really just up to you, because I still feel like I deserve to speak as a Hawaiian person, as I care so much about Hawaii and our culture and the future of Hawaii and my children who are part Hawaiian. Do you feel the same, Kim?
yeah. I mean, I think it, I wrestled with that for so much of my life, and I was a Hawaiian Studies major at UH, and when I went, I was very much ostracized because at that point, it, I was not a welcome look. And there were other people who were Hawaiian Studies majors who were not Hawaiian at all, but they looked more of what was acceptable. And my aunt, Auntie Mamo, was also at the University of Hawaii at the same time. And she was like a big deal. And she was the head of the student council. And there was a lot of activism happening. And I loved participating and doing it with her and stuff like that. But unless somebody knew she was my aunt, I was not verified. And so I was not welcome into the club. But in a really interesting story, we were trying to change the name of the building called Porteous. And Porteous is a racist historian, as there was. And he was on the name of the building at UH, and he shouldn't have been there because he was incredibly racist. So
Oh,
Antimamo and a bunch of people wanted to change the name, and there was resistance to change the name. And so I went out and went out every day for a while, and as so many other people, and we were getting petition signed and petition signed, and I was getting tons and tons. I really dedicated myself to this, and I went to the board meeting, and of course I'm dismissed because not part of the group. I'm not part of any group, right? So like I'm dismissed from both sides. From the establishment side, they're like,
oh my
she's not
gosh.
part of the Hawaiian Studies group. She's not one of them. And then, so who cares who she is? And then also from the other group, I'm dismissed as well. Until it got to the point where they're like, well, you need so many signatures for us to change the name. And from the back, this dismissed girl who wasn't part of any group was able to say, oh, well, actually, I have all of those signatures and more.
Yes.
And so I was able to give the board and this room of people all of the signatures of all of the different people I had talked to and all of the people who had signed, and the building was changed. And I'm not saying it's because of me, but there was a huge portion of, because I was so dismissed, I was not even considered. And so I was able to get so many signatures because people weren't even regarding me as anything. And I think
Mm,
being Hapa for me, the most painful thing is being dismissed as nothing.
mm.
Yeah,
That is so
I
deep.
can feel
And
that.
so it's not even like I'm like crying in my closet. It's
Oh, Kim.
it's not even that I'm fighting to just be Hawaiian. I'm fighting to be anything because I'm lots of things and I love my ancestors. And so I'm
Yeah.
kind of done with trying to prove it to outside people. I'm more interested in honoring my amazing Korean grandmother who was on the
Yeah.
plantation. My great grandmother. I'm more interested in honoring my tutu. I'm more interested in honoring my muti. I'm more interested in honoring my ancestors. And if you don't think that I look how you want me to look, honestly, you can fuck off because you're not my ancestor. And I speak to my ancestors.
Your
Am-
ancestors are coming through loud and fucking clear on this
Yeah,
call.
I was
We
gonna
love
say
them.
amen, Seth. Amen.
Mhm.
Because I really feel that. And like this literally happens every other week, right? So this is like the how it goes. Tell me if you relate. It's me and my husband. We were at this farmer's market and they're selling lilikoi butter. I know how lucky in SoCal we get lilikoi
Much.
butter and ube butter and all this. And it's like these two auntie ladies, you know, in their papeles and they're like little palaka lunchbox, you know. And my husband's like, look, they got lilikoi butter. And I was like, oh, let's go support. Let's go get some like delicious, easy buy. And we say hello and we try it and we buy it and we're walking away and he's like, "Why didn't you tell them you're from Hawaii, you know? Why didn't you let them know or bust out an accent or like ask where they're from, where they went high school, da da da, something." And I was like, "Oh, cuz it doesn't matter. Cuz it doesn't matter. Cuz it doesn't matter. Like you're Kim, it does not matter, you know? We have nothing to prove." Like they, you know, they just think I'm not Hawaiian and that's fine. Like at this point, it's like it's fine. Like just like the whole Laulea, you know?
Yeah,
They're
but
gonna
now,
look at
but
us
I think I've
maybe
gone the
and be like,
opposite
"Are
way.
you?"
Now I'm like I'm from da, 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 da. And then if
Where are you from?
no, and I don't want to test anybody because also that
Right,
is a weird
right.
cockfight of like, and oh, you're
Such
from
a
Hawaii. Oh,
perfect
where are you
word.
from in Hawaii? I don't want to test anybody. If you tell me where
Yeah,
you're from, I believe you, and I don't want anybody to test me. But I'm not denying myself on anybody's account, and I'm not testing anybody. I'm just happy to be me at this point. I'm not denying anything, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just who I am. I feel like my age and everything has made me come to this place where I am who I am, and I will love you, most people, because I do love people. And if you don't have love for me, that's your
that's
loss.
on you. That's your Kuleana. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
I host amazing parties.
But okay,
Hella.
but the flip side, just a little bit, is like I can't. I'm not gonna go to every single person that I think is from Hawaii. Do you know what I mean? And be like, "Oh, where are you from? I'm from here," or "I'm from here," like you said, you know,
No.
because I like respect it and I respect them, and like you know, everybody wants to
Well,
talk about
of
Hawaii
course
on
not.
some
I mean, I
level,
wouldn't go up
you
to
know.
every Hapa person and be like, "I'm Hapa. Are you Hapa?" Like, no, no. I think it's just within reason. You
Yeah.
know, I would love to end this episode by reading Mary Kavena definition of Hapa because we've heard so many different renditions throughout these two episodes.
Hmm.
And I just thought, I'd be nerdy and just turn to the dictionary. What do you guys think?
Yeah, love it.
Love it. Do it.
Love it. I want to hear.
Okay. Okay. So she says Hapa. The first definition is portion, fragment, part, fraction, installment, to be partial, less. Isn't that interesting? The
Oh wow.
second is of mixed blood, person of mixed blood, as as Hapa Hawaii, part Hawaiian, C Hapa Haole. And then the third is A minor in music.
A minor in music.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it says C Lele 7. So I guess there's also a musical portion.
Oh.
Well, there you
So
have it.
Oh.
There you have it.
there you have
Black and
it.
white.
Well, there you
Love
have it.
it.
Right. It's just confusion a little bit, you know? It's so many different things, right?
Did it clear it up? Did
I
it
know. I'm
clear it
like,
up?
I don't know, dictionary. I don't know.
It's a fraction though. But do you know what stands out a lot to me, you guys?
What?
It
Is
doesn't
the
say half.
Ooh.
It doesn't
It
say the
says
word half
no.
anywhere?
It says
Oh, funny.
portion, fragment, part, fraction installment to be partial, less. Or the second is of mixed blood, person of mixed blood. It
Right.
doesn't say half, but
I
here
want to
it
like,
says Kaiki Hapa, limited knowledge. Ua Hapa na hai. The flags are at half mast. So so I guess it infers half because in this sentence it's saying the flag's at half mast and the Hapa part is the half.
Oh, is the half.
well, I just want to say I take offense at the word less being in there because I feel like everything I'm hearing about Hapa is more.
We love you, Jill.
That's why we love
We
you.
love Jill.
Ah, love you guys.
Okay, promise. Next time we're drinking, okay?
Yes. 3 times is the charm.
Okay. Oh my God, Jarmae, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much, you
you.
guys.
Oh, thank you guys all so much for listening. Honestly, these first 2 weeks have been amazing, and it's because of you and your support. We so cherish our listeners. Please continue to come back, make comments, share with your friends. We just adore this community. Jill,
What? Yes,
we did
I'm
another
here.
happy hour.
Oh, but wait, we need to talk about next week quickly before we go.
Okay, you do it.
What's coming up, Mama Kim? Well, I mean, we have another episode coming up, but this one is all about soulmates and twin flames and in relationships.
Netflix
How do we
version.
know? Yeah, it's not the Netflix version. You've got to tune in because that Netflix version was cray and we all know it. This is more about how do you know when to hold tight? How do you know when to let go? And how do you know when somebody is your person? Is there, I don't know, anything else you would say about that, Kim?
So we have 2 mana wahine. We have Kumu Hinale Moana Wong and Kathy Babayan. And the amazing thing is they didn't know each other. And by the end of the episode, amazing fun. We will see you next Tuesday for the new drop of the episode. And then we will see you back here for Happy Hour Friday. Okay. Ahui ho. Remember to breathe, y'all. Bye.
Bye.